What's the most important thing about learning Biblical Greek for the first time? Well, in this video, we're going to take a quick look at it, and really it's just going to be a little bit of an encouragement if you're looking at learning Greek for the first time. So, let's get into it. Well, like I said, this is a different kind of video to normal. What I really want to do in this video is just sort of to sit down for a bit, even though I'm standing up, is just kind of to have a couple of words just about beginning Greek. There's a couple of things that I've learned over the years that are, will I think help people who are going through beginning Greek for the first time, because there's so many traps and difficulties when you go through beginning Greek. For instance, it's easy to be overwhelmed with the sheer amount of information there is, and then to wonder, how on earth am I ever going to learn this? But on the other side, there's the tendency to try and master every possible nuance in the beginning Greek grammar, and you end up actually never getting past one of the chapters. And so there's this balance on the one hand of being overwhelmed, and on the other hand you're never actually making any progress. And if this is you, then I really just want to talk to you and just sort of give you some encouragement and really give you one thing that I found that really makes such a huge difference. And perhaps there's a couple other things I can hint on as well. Note, first of all, that not all grammars are the same. Some grammars are going to give you a lot more information than other grammars. And they may not even intend for you to learn all the information on a per chapter basis. Two examples of this: Mount's Basics of Biblical Greek and perhaps Rodney Decker's Reading Koine Greek. Both very good grammars, but they both give you quite a lot of information. They're big, thick grammars with almost exhaustive content per chapter. And these are great grammars, but if you're the kind of person who tends toward perfectionism, then you're going to want to master every single element in each chapter of these grammars. And you're not going to do that if this is your first time learning Greek. There's just too much information. So my encouragement is, don't require yourself to do that. One of the good things about Reading Koine Greek by Decker is at the end of the chapter, he tells you this is what you need to know. And I go back to those things. Make sure you know those things, and all the other little bits and pieces, just forget them. Let them go and move on. As long as you can master those little things at the end of the chapter, then you should be all good. Mounts does something similar. He has his halftime summary and then his end of chapter summary, and those are also good, but I don't think he does such a good job of telling you exactly what you need to know versus what he's told you. So you need to differentiate those things, and I think Deck is really helpful. On the other side, you might want to consider getting a grammar that's a little shorter. And here are the benefits of something like beginning with New Testament Greek by, and this is really, of the shorter grammars that I've looked at, this is really my favorite and the one I would recommend. It's a great grammar. It's not overly complicated. They don't give you too much information, unlike Decker and Mounts, and so you can actually master the content in this a lot easier. So if you're tending toward perfectionist tendencies, you might be better off with a shorter grammar that doesn't overwhelm you with content, and so this would be a great option in that case. So that's the first thing, is really just be aware of the grammar you're working through and how much information it's giving you, and try and work out, or at least have some guidance as to what do I need to know rather than what is the information presented. You don't always need to know everything presented in the grammar. The other thing to bear in mind is that if you're looking at learning Biblical Greek and you're going through and you're finding yourself overwhelmed, my other piece of recommendation for you would really be to keep making progress. It's more important that you keep making steady, consistent progress than it is that you master every concept. And here's the reason why. Because if you're trying to master every element in the text, and you decide, I'm going to make progress regardless of how I feel about that content, then you're going to probably automatically drop off those extraneous pieces of information that you don't need to remember up front. And that would be my encouragement to you. Don't let those extraneous pieces of information hold you back. Keep making progress. Keep moving forward. And really that process of eliminating the unimportant things will take care of itself. So keep making progress. It almost doesn't even matter how fast you're going, in a sense. The key thing is to keep making progress. You want to do the exercises, you want to make sure you internalize as best you can the material in the chapter, but don't try and master everything. Keep making progress, and set yourself a pace then, a steady pace of just every week go through a new chapter. On Monday, you're going to start with a new chapter and just work through that. On Saturday, you're going to perhaps do the exercises and you have to work out, the paradigms and the details in between, but you're just going to keep making progress. That's the most important thing in beginning Greek, to keep making progress. And that's why having a shorter grammar will prevent you from getting hung up in those details. And again, if you're able to just stick to a timetable, then that's going to serve you a whole lot better. So again, don't worry if you're looking at where other people are and that you're seeing them way ahead of you. Just let that go. Don't worry too much about that. They're on a different journey. They're at a different stage. That's fine. You don't have to keep up with them. You just have to keep making progress. That's the most important thing in any stage, really, of biblical Greek. Even if you've finished beginning Greek and you want to keep learning the language, keep mastering the vocabulary, reading the text, benefiting from what you've learned, keep making progress. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is this: keep making progress. Small, consistent steps are going to get you to your end goal. It's not about how fast you get there. It's not about all the details. All those details that you're skipping over in beginning Greek, you're going to come back to, because you're going to need to come back to them later on. You want to get those core basics down of each of the different chapters you find in the grammars so that you can then move on to the next basic concepts. And then when you finish the grammar, you want to come back perhaps at that stage and then pick up some of those details later on. But keep making progress. So if you're stuck in biblical Greek, or if you are going through beginning Greek and you sort of experience something like this yourself, leave a comment below. Let us know how you got through it. I'd love to hear from you and get your feedback and your encouragement for others who are going through beginning Greek as well. And if you're interested in learning biblical Greek, well, my program, Master New Testament Greek, is all set up to keep you making progress. That's the whole process of it. So go ahead and download my roadmap to mastery at masterntgreek.com/roadmap, and that will help you to get started as well. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, keep making progress. See you then.